by now you've seen this. This is a post on Donald Trump's Truth Social account saying, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War." 3 helicopter emojis. Chicapolis now. And then, of course, his face superimposed over somebody else's body. So, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning" is the line from this scene in the movie Apocalypse Now, where Robert Duvall says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," as a Vietnam era movie where there's napalm being set off or dropped in the background from where Robert Duvall is, and it's just first and foremost incredibly ironic that Donald Trump would yet again Photoshop or at least repost an image of himself in a Vietnam War movie, the war that he wasn't brave enough to go to himself because he had bone spurs. That's the first thing I find incredibly funny about this, is that, he's a draft dodger. He was too much of a fucking coward to go to Vietnam. But he's brave enough to Photoshop his face into Vietnam War images. Now, on to the actual, the meat of the matter. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. First of all, it's not called the Department of War. You call it the Department of War, but I believe it takes an official act of Congress to change the name of any official department. So technically, I believe it's still the Department of Defense, no matter what you want to call it. But a lot of people have pointed out that this is Donald Trump declaring war on an American city, specifically Chicago. And of course, not even getting English correct. It would go, "Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War, you idiot." But once again, this is a distraction. Okay? The reason why Trump and the people around Trump, the people within his cabinet and within his administration, within his circle, keep talking about invading the city of Chicago with troops rather than actually doing it, is because, once again, they realize that that's not, and they can try to do it with full-time military and suspend habeas corpus if they want, but the governor controls the National Guard in all 50 of the states. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, controls the National Guard in D.C. That's why he was able to do it in D.C. He can't just do it in every other state. And I believe somebody got to him and said, "Hey, you can't just do this," which is why they keep talking about it rather than doing it. But this is all a distraction. It's all a distraction. He knows that Chicago isn't what they say it is. I mean, Jesus, he was just golfing, right, with John Gruden. John Gruden, huge MAGA guy. This John Gruden right here. Nothing like a couple days in Chicago. No shit. Tell that to Trump. Or Charlie Kirk, who was also posting images and videos of himself from a game at Wrigley, talking about how great it was to be back at a Cubs game in the city of Chicago. If Chicago is the war zone that Donald Trump makes it out to be, why are his friends hanging out in it and digging it? Because it's a great fucking city. It's a great city to visit in the summer. It's a great city to visit in the winter. Everybody loves it. The only people that don't like it are the idiots that have never fucking been to it, but keep getting told by these fucking jagoffs that the city of Chicago is bad and it's evil, and we need to go in there and send the military and cramp down on crime. And crime exists in every city. Get the fuck out of here. Chicago is not even the most dangerous city in the state of Illinois. Peoria, East St. Louis, both of those cities are more dangerous than the city of Chicago. Fuck, Joliet has a higher violent crime rate than the city of Chicago does. But Chicago has, for decades, been used by simpletons on the right as an example of progressive policies run amok. They don't like the success that is the city of Chicago. They don't like the fact that it is a progressive city. They don't like the fact that it is the economic engine for all of those poor red counties within it, within its state's borders. What they don't like most about the city of Chicago, though, is that there are a lot of black people there. It has been used as an example of a failure of integration. when it's actually quite the opposite. Now, what is this a distraction from? It's a distraction from the fact that Donald Trump most likely trafficked in little girls. That Donald Trump most likely raped children. And he doesn't want you talking about that. He's going to send the military in to cities that his friends hang out in and talk about how great it is. It can't possibly because he actually believes this bullshit. It's got to be about something else. It's a distraction. It's a distraction to get us to stop talking about the fact that Donald Trump most likely had intercourse with children against their will.